I'm Susan, and this is my supervisor. She's keeping an eye on me. Today I'm participating in a junk journal swap, and we drew names and we sent each other junk. And so I'm going to do an unboxing. The person that got my name was Melissa. And let's see what she sent me. Kind of excited, I'm kind of scared. Oh boy. That's cool. String. How cute. Have ideas? Hard. Hey Susan, I hope you enjoy using all of my junk to make your journal. Melissa. Thank you, Melissa. How pretty. That's right up my alley. That too. How pretty. Cool. My doilies. Another envelope. Tissue paper. Cardboard. Have fun. Oh, cool. Very cool. Sheet music. Blank sheet music. Oh, wow. Thank you, Melissa. You did real good by me. Comic book artboard. Very cool. Well, we'll see what I can come up with. So, I'll be back. This collab is hosted by Melissa of Java, Jesus, and Journaling with Melissa. And she's the one that sent me this stuff. I'm going to have her link and the playlist listed in my description box down below. Now, I just went through everything and just tried to get an idea of what I wanted to do. And this video is going very fast because when I went to edit it, I had over 4 hours. So I really had to speed it up. So I just play around with it for a little while, just trying to decide how I'm going to organize everything. And I decided to do a folio. But at the time, I'm not sure how I'm going to arrange it. So I start cutting things down to size and just playing with stuff until I decide how I'm going to end up using it. On each end, I decide to use those hard pieces of cardboard and the comic book board and make pockets. And I'm decorating it with that candy cane stripe looking piece of, it seemed like it was like packaging that had been ripped. And I used that to decorate it, and I used some of my own detailing tape that I got. And I just fix it up, make it look pretty, and just make my pocket. I use some digitals that I have and cover the pocket for the front. That was the comic book board. I used my hole punch to cut out little thumb holes, and my supervisor really was keeping an eye on me. She was all into this. I also use some of my digitals to decorate that little envelope that I have. And I'm just going to attach it onto the side where that, like this. I'm going to glue it down and attach the flap, and then it'll have a little pocket. And I just decorate both sides because both sides will be seen of that little envelope. Once I finish decorating my envelope, I just glue it down with art glitter glue onto the board, and then I can cover the board and cover that flap. So I'll cover the back side of that board, and I'm just continuing to figure out how I want to decorate and put my focal points on my envelope. I like the look of inking things, so most of my stuff throughout this project will be inked. And I just use some distressing ink, the Tim Holtz distressing ink, and just go around the edges. And I do trim the little corners just a little bit to so it's not such a sharp edge. And the ink I'm using is Vintage Photo. Now I'm decorating those big playing cards, and my digitals weren't quite tall enough to cover it. So I'm using some of my scrapbook paper and some of my book page to kind of cover the areas that I need covering. And in all my pieces, once I get my pieces glued down, I just go around the edges and trim it so that it looks neat. And I do the same thing for both of the cards. And on the front part of the cards, I just use a plain collaged digital page that I have, and I just cover it up and ink it just like I did the back. Now this little coin type envelope, I'm going to cover it up and decorate it and attach it to one of these cards. I line the top part of the envelope on the inside so that it gives it a neat look. And I just decorate it with more digitals and fussy cuts that I have. Before I add on my fussy cuts, I use these little foam dots that she gave me, and I cover them with some pretty scrapbook paper. I want to make a closure, and I glue down the scrapbook paper, I ink around the edges, and then I attach them with using brads. I had some pretty red brads, and I make my closure using this. I just poke a hole through the center and through the envelope, and there I've got it, and I just use some of the string that was given to me, and I make my little envelope with its closure. And now I'll just glue this envelope down to the card. Now I don't know where this came from, but I just loved it, and I use it as a pull out, and I make the bottom part, I leave it open at the top so that it's a pocket. And here I'm just finishing my other end of the pocket of the folio, the last pocket. And I did it just like I did the very first one. Now I'm going to use this canvas and make me a little tiny writing journal to go into my folio. And I just cut off those little edges, and I get some scrapbook paper, and I just cut it down and make it about a 1/2 inch or so all the way around bigger, and I'll just glue it down. And I cut off those corners so I wouldn't have too much excess bulk. And when I glued that part on the edges, I used Fabri-Tac because it held better than the art glitter glue having to close like that. I should have thought to have scored it first. And now I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do with this what I'm putting in it and all. And so I decided to use a lot of the papers that Melissa had gave me. I've got this blank music paper. I've got some of my digitals that I already had. I put that little doily in there. I cut down some of the tissue paper and the little house plans, and I just make my little journal. And I just use some wax thread and 3 times the length of your journal, and I just put a big needle, and I use an awl, and I just punch 3 holes, and I use my book to help me get those holes, and I try to make sure that I'm getting all the pages because they're different sizes. And I just sew it in, and I just come down through the middle, back up through the right side. I'm sorry, I'm kind of out of frame here. I go all the way across and come back through, and then I come back up through the middle again. And you just want your strings one on each side of the other and tie a knot, and it's just that simple. I trim off any of the pages that's hanging out, and now I've got my little writing journal, and I just pick out something to decorate the front of it, and I think this is cute, and so I ink it up and I just glue it down on top, and then I'll add another little fussy cut in the corner. Now I'm going to use the window part of this envelope that Melissa sent me, and I'm just going to make a little pocket, and it was too wide to fit in there straight, so I just folded it, and I decorated with that this trim that she had sent me. It looks like it was off of like maybe some kind of packaging or scrapbook paper. I'm not sure, but I love the snowflakes on it. So I just do a little collage on it, and I decorate it, and I decorate a little ribbon on there where it was solid black. And I thought about adding other fussy cuts, but I didn't. And so on this one, I left a pocket at the top because it's open. The bottom was glued down, but where it was folded, there's a pocket. And then on the other 3 sides. Now this ribbon that she sent, I decided to make a belly band, and I just topped it with some of that pretty ribbon to kind of jazz it up for Christmas. And I just then add my little pieces in to my journal, and I just tie it up with some more of that string that Melissa gave me. Now on this little bib thing, I just cut off that extra edge, and I make a bookmark, and I just collage my paper down, and then I just add some fussy cuts to the top, and I've got my bookmark. Now I'm trying to decide where I want to add this little plastic pocket type thing. And I decided to add it onto the very back, and I just cover the black part with some more of that scrapbook paper, and I just glue it down, and I ended up having to go back and add Fabri-Tac because it was a stronger glue, but I put a little bit of lace over the top, and I just start filling in and adding in. I added in this tag that I have. I put an eyelet in it and tied a little bit of lace at the top, and it fit perfect right down inside of that little pocket. And now I finally get around to adding my fussy cuts onto my other pocket. And on this little street part, I decide to just add my little people and make a storefront, a Christmas decorated storefront. And on the back, I just stamp a Christmas tree at one corner and Merry Christmas at the top, and it gives me a place to write and journal. I start adding in some ephemera, different kinds of tags and journaling cards and different things. I just look for different things to put inside all of those pockets. I realize I haven't done anything with these cards, so I just decorate them and make journaling cards from them. I love how this journaling card turned out, and I ended up pulling it back out and adding a tab at the top. On this one, I loved the picture, but it wasn't very Christmassy, so I ended up just collaging book page that Melissa had sent, some fussy cuts and some trim, and I just decorated it up. And I let a little of the pink shine through. And I just cut off the back part of the card and just made a journaling card with it and inked up the back and added a tab to it. And now it's time to add all my pieces together. Now, if I'd had it to do all over again, I would have added my little strips. I cut paper strips down to go in between. And because of my envelope being so long, I had to cut out a little section and on that. But if I had it to do all over again, I would have attached my folio before decorating, and it would have made it a lot easier. But I made it work, and I think it turned out nice anyway. I add paper strips to both the inside and the outside. I just keep working at it to get everything to lay down, and then I tie it up with a lace bow. And then I'll give you a walkthrough. When you open it up, you see the little tag I made here in that little pocket. You open it up, and that's where my little journal I made goes. It's got the little belly band. Got all my little writing pages. It's got the stuff in the back pocket, and I'll just tie it back up with a string. And it just tucks right in. I've got my little tag stuck down in there. I've got a pocket in the back with a tag. I've got my journaling card. Got my other little journaling card stuck in the envelope. I've got my writing space. I've got my little street with my little fussy cuts added. And I've got my pocket with my bookmark and another journaling card. Now, when I started editing, I realized I had forgot to use these little cards, and there was a flash card with a time on it. And so I just went back and decorated them up, and I added them into my folio. Now, when I had made my Christmas journal, and I've been working on it doing daily Decembers, there was a spot in the middle, and this is what that was for. I was going to add in my folio to the center. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Ring that bell so you can be notified when I upload new content. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about my folio. Be sure and check out the playlist. I can't wait to see what everybody's made. This has been so much fun. And thank you, Melissa, for hosting this. And until next time, bye, y'all.